Hi, welcome to Mindsutra. Today my guest is Sushrut Munje. Sushrut founded Hammer and Mop at the age of 19 post dropping out of an instrumentation engineering course and operated as a first mover in the nascent Indian real estate services market. After 5 operational years and a successful exit, he worked in leadership roles, e-commerce, HR, and marketing in organizations operating across real estate services, luxury retail, and research communication. Presently, Sushrut has taken a break from work and stepped onward to school at the University of Amsterdam in order to cement his practical lessons with an academic base. He complements his business studies with interdisciplinary courses since life sciences and humanities have always held his curiosity. Hi Sushrut, welcome to my show and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mansi. It's an honor to be on your show. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, so I really want to know and my audience wants to know what has been your story. When and how did you know that you have to take an unconventional path? Did you always know it, or circumstances were such that you had to take it? So can you just give us a brief on your story?
Definitely. And before I start with the story, I would also like to point out that that there are two ways to think about it. एक है कि every person has a different story. So even if now I dropped out of college, I started a business, and then I did what I did. But even if I had graduated, then I had, say, gone abroad for an MS, done a job, it could still have been a different sector, it could have been a different company. So a path may be different for everyone involved, individually speaking.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if we think about conventional paths, honestly, you don't intentionally choose an unconventional path. It's just something that's in front of you. You don't choose it because it is unconventional or because it is conventional. You do it because you want to do it. That's the best option that you have. That's something that's on your mind. There's no other way about it, right? So you want it, you go do it. About me, well, we met at RAIT, the engineering college in Mumbai, and engineering to करना था. चॉइस था, मतलब ऐसा नहीं था कि फैमिली प्रेशर था इसलिए मैंने इंजीनियरिंग ज्वाइन किया. आई थॉट अबाउट what do I want to pursue. Advertising एक option था, engineering was another. I grabbed engineering. After 2 years, however, I thought it best to build something of my own. क्योंकि कॉलेज में इवेंट्स में काफी मैं पार्ट लेता था, पर पढ़ाई में for some reason I couldn't really put myself to it like my fellow students were. So they were really enjoying academics and I wasn't. So मैंने सोचा कि it's better that I build something of my own. So I dropped out and I started a company that I ran for around 5 years in Mumbai. मैं रियल एस्टेट सर्विसेज में था. काफी सीखने को मिला, काफी अच्छा था, मजा आया, गलतियां भी काफी की. And after 5 years, we sold that company to a larger competitor. I was 25 at that time. And I joined them. I took over a couple of departments, worked with them for a while. काफी अलग experience था क्योंकि my company never had more than 50 employees. And this larger company was like 3,000 employees and growing, pan-India operations. मजा आया काफी. Then I was, after real estate, I wanted to move into something different. So I have always been this marketing person as such. तो मुझे fashion में काफी interest था, मुझे retail market में काफी interest था. So I switched my sector from real estate to luxury retail.
Right.
There was this new Indo-French company that was starting up, and I helped them build their e-commerce market for a while. And after that, I had an option. एक option था कि move into another profile, a much better profile. Another option was to take a break and just study. So I realized at that time that since I was a self-taught business person, there's a limit to what I can really do. होता है कि when you're a self-taught person, you end up focusing on things which you like, and you end up focusing on things which you enjoy, and you tend to ignore things which may bore you.
Right.
तो वो एक I felt that ऐसा हो सकता है, so I just took a break. I moved to Amsterdam and now I'm in college. So मैं 5 साल तक I'm just going to study business and everything else that comes with it.
Right. So your studies are going on right now?
They are. So I'm doing my undergrad in business administration.
Okay.
And economics है, उसमें finance है, communication science है. So it's a good university. काफी exposure है, and I'm learning all that I can.
Yes. So, if I trace back to your engineering days when you decided that you have to build something of your own, so where that motivation came from, and I'm sure at that time you might have had some self-doubt or fear of failure, because not everybody does that. Majority follow what is conventional, in a way, get graduated, get a job and start working, but you decided to build something of your own. So was there any kind of self-doubt when you decided that?
There was self-doubt after I started doing it. When I was deciding it, I think we were all young. We were quite emotional, Ravi.
Yeah.
And I was this rebellious young guy, very angry at the things that I'm not really enjoying. So I was angry at myself. Engineering, why am I not doing it? Why am I not enjoying it rather? So failure तो नहीं लग रहा था. It was not कि मैं failure हुआ, मुझे नहीं जम रहा. It was more about why am I not enjoying this when I chose it? And what else now can I do? Something that I will enjoy. So hard work का तैयारी बहुत था. It was more about the output, which I was not really, which was not up to my liking. But after I started, the घोड़ों का, I don't know what you say it in Hindi, blinders होते हैं, टांगे वाले जो घोड़े होते हैं ना, उनके आंखों के सामने blinders होते हैं. तो वैसा था वो situation. So there was only one path I could see.
Okay.
My friends, my family, they were all saying कि अरे यार वो tight rope होता है ना, एक ही 2 buildings के बीच में एक tight rope होता है.
Right.
They were like, why do you want to walk on it? It's so risky. And I was like, that's a highway. So क्योंकि वो घोड़े का blinders था, for me it was a highway. I didn't see any risk over there. But once I started, there was self-doubt क्योंकि I was working with people who were way elder to me.
Right.
There were many other people, big businesses in the same sector.
Right.
There was a lot of money that they had. I didn't have that.
Right.
Exposure था, network था. बहुत सारे लोग थे जिनके पास बहुत सारी चीजें थी already, जो मेरे पास नहीं थी. तो था self-doubt उसमें.
So how did you deal with it?
I think what happens is I'm wired to work harder when there is self-doubt. So if I see something that I don't know or I can't do, I tend to put a lot of time and energy in it, which may burn me out too. So it can get exhausting at times.
Yeah.
But I just went on doing it because I wanted to. And my family supported in a way. So earlier they were very scared, because I come from this rich academic background.
Right.
My grandparents have been doctors, engineers, and professors.
Okay.
So they were all scared because I was the only non-graduate in a few generations. But then Dad started giving me like these really good books to read. He's like, "Jo kar rahe ho, wo theek se karo."
Right.
उसमें कुछ कमी नहीं होना चाहिए. My mom was similarly trying to, she's a psychologist, she's a counselor psychologist, so she was trying to help me understand my self-doubt and all of that. So those conversations helped, that warmth helped. And I think if you know what you want to do, you just end up doing it. And self-doubt is a healthy thing, so you know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's a very interesting insight. Yeah, continue.
No, sorry. So, as long as you keep realizing what you don't know, you can keep building on it. तो आसपास तो देखना नहीं है, अंदर ही देखना है, right, मानसी? तो because there are always people who you can compare yourself with, but that there's no end to it. But if you know that you are falling short, आसान है ना, बस काम करना है या पढ़ाई करना है, हो जाता है वो.
Right, but there must have been some moments where you are seeing your peers getting ahead of you. They are more successful in their conventional path. So, did you ever regret following your path?
Well, honestly, I saw people being successful in their conventional path and non-conventional path. At the same time, people who were following the conventional path saw me being successful more than them, apparently, right? And other people as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is that everyone is successful no matter what they do, conventional or unconventional. It depends on what you call success to. It can be money, but money is not everything. It can be relationships. It can be the work that you do, the company that you work with, the position you're at, or even the country that you stay in. There are some people who just want to move abroad. They want to stay there. And their job may not be that good. Someone is doing a much better job in India.
Yeah.
But they're like, अरे यार वो तो अमेरिका में, मैं तो दिल्ली में. So, but that's not really a measure, right? It all boils down to, are you happy with yourself? And are you doing what you want to do? So if you talk about money, yeah, there have been people more successful than me. There have been people less successful than me, but that's never really been a measure. And I've been very happy with myself overall. I've been grateful to all the people around me. My family, my friends, they have been an amazing support system. And I've never regretted doing what I've done.
Wow, that's amazing to hear. And on your path, did you face any failure? So you had a variety of things on your plate, right from building your own business to selling it off to joining a company to entering marketing. So you had a variety of things on your platter. So did you face any kind of failure on the way? And if yes, I will not call failure, any major challenges that did you face and how did you cope with it?
Yeah, definitely faced failures. I remember, I think I was 20 years old when I first had my 10 employees, and I came from this very protected background. Sub soft, sub comfortable tha, all of that, and I didn't know how the outside world really functions. I had not traveled alone much, and here I had these 10 employees from the real estate sector, and they were elder to me by 15 to 20 years easily. And I didn't know how to manage employees. So human resource management में जो कुछ basic चीजें होती है, there are allowances that you have to give. There are certain holidays. There are certain ways to talk to them. I was not rude to them, but I was too soft with them at times.
Okay.
So I think after a year, they were fed up with me. I was fed up with them.
Okay.
I think there was a week where I had, not a week actually, there was a day where I had no employees, but then I had preempted it. So I had planned a backup and all of that. So बहुत stressful time था वो, of course. I was very young. It was I had customer orders waiting. I didn't have any employees for a day, and then I had to find new ones without letting these ones know. So काफी hustle का this was one. Then there was a time when I had a conflict with my existing investors, and I had to bring on a new investor. There was a time when a senior employee left who was managing all of my work operations.
Right.
But then I got another one. So interestingly, what happened was Mansi. The first shock of employees was huge because it was the first time something like this was happening.
Right.
But slowly, what I realized is, if something is going away from your life in general, there is always something bigger and better waiting for you. And ये अभी मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ आसान है, right? As in, it's easier said than done. When you're going through something, it's not easy to think like this.
Yes, exactly.
But वैसा हुआ है. So if certain employees left, there have always been better employees who walked in. My operations manager left. Someone with an MBA took over my operations. The new investor was much bigger. तो ये काफी आसान examples दे रहा हूँ मैं. काफी personal examples नहीं हैं. But ऐसे होता गया है. So I think what happened was, earlier I used to be stressed looking at these external factors, But slowly I started having faith on within my thoughts and what I wanted to build. And that attracted the right energies, the right people, the right opportunities in general. So even when you look at Hammer and Mop, the company that I was building, I built it with a lot of love and passion. And not just me, even the people around me, the people I was working with, my customers themselves, we all were building that brand with a lot of passion. But when the time came, I didn't have trouble letting it go because someone else took over my baby in a way, right? 5-year-old baby. Someone else took over that brand, and I didn't have anything there because I knew that there's something bigger and better coming.
Right. So,
yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. So my work revolves around dealing with limiting beliefs of my clients, transforming them so that they can achieve their true potential. Did you have any limiting beliefs in your journey, and how did you overcome them, if there were any? Did you have any sort of limiting belief that prevented you from, or demotivated you from going ahead?
Well, yeah, I still do actually, and I think my limiting beliefs have graduated. So they started off at a certain level, and once I overcome certain things, something else comes up. So they've always been there. I think somewhere at the beginning, while I did drop out and start this business, kahin pe to man mein tha ki probably I'm not meant for academics.
Okay.
And that was not exactly a pleasant thing because I've always respected academics. मुझे पढ़ाई नहीं करनी थी इसलिए मैंने drop out नहीं किया था. So there was this nagging, limiting belief that probably I'm not good at certain things. And that stops me from, say, doing business development in a certain way, doing my marketing in a certain way. कभी-कभी मैं खुद के बारे में कम सोचता था, कंपनी के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचता था. Which hurts you, क्योंकि you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of your well-being.
Yes.
But then, and that stops you from putting yourself outside a lot, right? वो काफी आप से पीछे रहते हो, आप कंपनी को आगे निकलते हो. That's one. And I slowly realized that the best way to deal with any limiting belief is to just confront it. And that's something that I've noticed in your talks as well. I keep following you on social media. I don't watch entire videos, but I've heard snippets. I've heard the kind of statements that you make. And even the questions that you sent me, right? It's about confronting them and ensuring that you're in tune with it. So to give you a recent example, now I'm in college and I'm scoring really well. So in the first year itself, that was a huge confidence booster because for the first time I was scoring so well and in such a good university with such smart kids around me. It told me that Sushrut, you are meant for academics, right? You just never really tried it. And probably you were not at the right place then. Then ऐसे कुछ था कि probably I'm not meant for technology. I probably am not meant for finance. But now I'm doing it and I'm really good at it too. So I think it all boils down to, are you confronting your fear or are you running away from it?
Right.
And the moment you confront, ये भगवद गीता में भी लिखा है, right? The moment you confront your storm, it goes away.
Yes.
But if you keep running away from it, at some day it will catch you. And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's a very interesting insight, and I think the fear of actually our imagination is more fearful than the actual reality. That is very also true. I have realized with my sessions and going forward. So thank you. That was a very interesting insight, and which brings me to my next question, which is, what has been the key belief or motivation that has kept you going for the past 10 years in your direction?
I think I won't really call it a key belief, but I think what's keeping me centered is focusing on myself in a way, not in terms of ego. It's more about not comparing myself with the outside world as such. So if there's any stress, if there's anything that's not really happening as to my expectations, Earlier, I used to look outside and I used to find problems outside. Now I look within. So I think in 10 years. Okay, so I do have plans for myself, but I think in 10-year plans. So I always have this vague vision of what I want to do when I'm like, now I'm 30, so मैं 40 रहूंगा तभी what I want. It's very vague.
Yeah.
And then somehow you have these, उसका 10 साल का 5 साल हो जाता है. So where do you want to be when you're 5 years from now? तो 5 साल का 2 साल 1 साल हो जाता है, right? And it's crazy at times. It's radical of where you want to be, considering where you are right now. So answers ऐसे easily आते नहीं है.
Yes, but it definitely, sorry to interrupt you, but this particular tool I have used with my clients as well, because it's a very powerful tool. It may sound very simple, but it's a very powerful tool when you think from your future self to your current self. Where does this decision will make you happy in 5 or 10 years time? And it can shift your perspective, and rather than thinking from people point of view, what people will think, we actually think from our own future self point of view. So that's a very interesting tool that you have highlighted.
I agree, and I think more visualization में भी use होता है, right? क्योंकि even when we are meditating or when we wake up or when we are sleeping, for 5 minutes if we start visualizing what the future is going to be like, and we start to like imagine that emotion, it somehow manifests.
Yes, when you feel the emotion, it attracts things really fast.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's been a very personal, my work and personal lives are integrated. So honestly, it's just been a spiritual journey for me, and to peace. And that's it. So I know what needs to be done. I'm doing it. There's no stress. And I'm happy.
Wow.
I'm very fortunate to have the people around me that I have. So I'm really happy and I'm grateful.
Very, very nice to hear. And last question that I would like to ask you is 3 key advice or any 3 things to remember that you will advise our listeners if they want to follow their own heart, their own soul's journey, be it in professional life or personal life. What will be the key 3 things that you want to advise them?
Right. The first one would be, this is very important, your parents, they love you. Right? So they may not always appear to support you when you want to do something that they don't agree with, but that's no reason to think that they don't support you or they won't do anything for you. So you need to understand that their opposition, if it is, or resistance, or डांट रहे हैं या agree नहीं कर रहे हैं, it's out of their love for you. So it's always stemming from their worry कि आप कुछ गलती कर सकते हो या एक सेफ रास्ता है तो आप रिस्क क्यों ले रहे हो. ये जो प्यार है वहां से ये सब डाउट आता है. सो वी नीड टू as when we are young, हम थोड़े इमोशनल हो सकते हैं इन दैट टाइम कि अगर पेरेंट्स ऐसे बोल रहे थे नहीं आप ऐसे कैसे बोल रहे हो. बट वी नीड टू बी पेशेंट and we need to understand it from their perspective and somehow convince them. And once we convince our parents or our family, brothers, sisters, we can convince the world.
Right.
Because these are the people who love you and they don't want to see any harm. And if you manage to convince them that you're taking a risk, you can convince anyone else. Second would be, if you end up doing something unconventional, other people are going to talk about it. That's a reality. We are a collectivist society. And हम कुछ तो कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो हम बहुत बार सुनेंगे नहीं लोगों का. Yeah, we will not listen to them, or we will not pay attention, or we will just ignore all of that. But what we need to remember is that our family and our friends, they also bear the brunt. क्योंकि आपकी चाची आपसे कुछ नहीं बोलेगी पर आपके मॉम से बात करेगी, या आपके नेबर्स आपके डैड से बात करेंगे पर आपसे नहीं बात करेंगे. But your family is also going through it.
Right.
So आपको एफेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है because you are ignoring it, but your family can't ignore it. So that is something that again you need to take them into the loop and make sure that we are all together we are on the same page, so they know how to deal with it. क्योंकि आप जितना आसानी से सब इग्नोर कर सकते हो उतना आसानी से वो इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते. So you need to talk to them, you need to keep on informing them, give them confidence that what you're doing is right or wrong, everything. So why communication important है. And last equally important point is you do what you have to do, right? No matter what. And as long as your ethics are in place, as long as आप सच बोल रहे हो, एक प्यार है खुद के लिए और आपके आसपास लोगों के लिए, you just do what you have to do. Don't compare with yourself. Don't fit into some weird societal norms. जो आपको सही लगता है वो करो.
Wow, that's such important bits of wisdom, and thank you so much, Sushrut. That was such an interesting and insightful talk. And if our listeners want to know more about you, would like to reach you, do you have any social media handle where they can follow you or reach you?
I can. So you can just Google my name on, not Google actually, search my name on Instagram, I'm there. Or even if I'm on Facebook as well. So I am accessible. So my name is there. If you just look for it, you'll find me. क्योंकि थोड़ा uncommon नाम है तो उसका I'm lucky कि थोड़ा uncommon नाम है तो आसानी से आ जाऊँगा.
Okay, so that's Sushrut Munje for our listeners. And you have your own online magazine as well. So I think Fancafecom is its name. So.
Oh yeah. It's very sweet of you to mention it. Actually, I'm building it. I started building it with my fiance. I'm about to get married in April, and me and Nikita, we are jointly building it. It's not exactly a magazine. It's more about conversations that we have with people around us. So I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoyed this conversation, Mansi. I'm very happy that we connected after so long. And similarly, Nikita enjoys these conversations too. So what we try to do is we try to document these conversations as a memory. And if we have that conversation with a person 5 years later, we can still remember what we spoke about. So it's a very personal exercise as such.
Okay. So what is the name of that beautiful thing you are building so that our readers can know more about it?
It's called Fancafecom or .org. दोनों links हैं, and it basically I created that URL a long time back, like 15 years back or something.
Okay.
It means Frank Coffee.
Okay.
And I love coffee. Nikita loves coffee, and you have some really good conversations over coffee too. So it's Frank and it's coffee. So Fancafecom.
Lovely. So thank you, Sushrut, for all this wonderful insight, and it's been a pleasure having you on my show, and I'm sure our listeners will definitely benefit from this. Thank you again for coming here, and good luck with your future endeavors.
The honor was mine, Mansi, and thank you for this.